Today, I'm going to take you to a secret tag sale at an auction house in New York City. This sale is a hodgepodge of secondhand household items. Are you ready to come along as I hunt for treasures? Let's go. It's early on a Friday morning, and I'm headed to the monthly 3-day tag sale at an auction house in New York. As far as I know, this company auctions off items from estates all over the city. The items that are not sold at the auction end up at this tag sale. If the items are not sold here, they will be donated to thrift stores. I've been coming to this sale for maybe 2 years now, and as you can see by the line, this is a secret no more. The doors open at 10 a.m. and I usually get here around 9:50. I was surprised how many people were in the line today. While I have been coming here on a regular basis for a while, I had taken a couple of months off, and in that time, word seems to have spread throughout the city, and it's a lot more crowded than I remember. I try to come on the first day of the sale to see what they have and do a little reconnaissance for Ed. Since they restock every day, we can come back later in the weekend if we like the style and types of inventory that I saw on the first day. You're going to see me pick up a few pottery pieces today for 2 reasons. One, I'm drawn to the texture and organic look of handmade pottery, especially if it's in a neutral color palette, like creamy vanilla white, chocolatey brown, and if you've been watching my videos, you know I love blue and white. The second reason is that there was just so much handmade pottery at this particular sale. I think the woman whose items ended up here must have been a potter, either a professional or an amateur. I probably should have Googled her, but I didn't. I really do need to get better at that. At this tag sale, I like to look for original art and vintage decor. If you've watched my previous Thrift With Me videos, you're probably like, duh, Megan, I know, obviously. The art here is organized in large cardboard boxes marked with the prices. So a box will be labeled $0 to $20, $20 to $50, and so on. Small art is often stacked in small crates. When I first started coming here, they had a lot of nice art, but over time, I feel like it has declined a little bit. A lot of the pieces are there month after month, and it's gotten to a point where I don't even look through the art anymore, hence the lack of footage. The reason I took time off from this tag sale is because I felt I had seen the same pieces for several months in a row, and I wanted to see if the inventory would change if I took a break, and it did, which is great. I think the reason the inventory doesn't change quickly may be due to the pricing. I've been showing you as much pricing as I can throughout this video. What do you think? Are these things overpriced? A bit of a ripoff, perhaps? A few things to consider with pricing. We are in New York City and pretty much everything is expensive here. So it is possible that pricing at this tag sale reflects the pricing in New York. The other thing that we all consider when shopping is the price of an item versus its worth or value to us. One time, Ed and I were talking to a vendor about some vintage art he was selling. The vendor said, $400. And I was like, no, I don't think so. And he said, it's worth a lot more. And I said, to you? And we walked away. So while I may buy a big metal pot for $15 at this tag sale, and you would think $15 for a metal pot is insane, well, that's because the price is not worth it to you. You do not value the item at $15, so it's not worth purchasing. Do you know what I mean? While I think that some of the pricing is way too high, I have found things that I think are worth the trip to this tag sale, and dealing with the freepers, and digging through the tables and boxes. In addition to my end of video haul from this sale, I'm going to try to remember to show you some of the other things that I've gotten here over the last year or so. I picked up this little brass and marble organizer in the hopes that I can convince Ed to let me use it in the entryway makeover in his home. So I'm gonna take some photos and send them to him before I check out of the tag sale, and we'll see if I can get his approval. Another thing about this tag sale, they play their music pretty loud. It's usually some sort of pop music, and I think it's supposed to make us want to shop. They also don't have air conditioning, or maybe it just wasn't on this day, but it would make it a little uncomfortable if you're sensitive to heat. This is in a big warehouse, and they do not have changing rooms, but they do have bathrooms. I have never used them, but they do exist. I should probably back up and explain more of the setup and the inventory. I can't show you some of these things because it is very crowded and I don't want to show other shoppers' faces in my videos to protect their privacy, so I'll just have to tell you. When you walk in, to your left, you see a dozen tables full of home decor, servingware, handbags, and jewelry. They also have some tables to the right with record albums, lamps, cookware, and other items. There are also a few furniture pieces, which I did show you earlier in the video. If you walk toward the back of the room, you'll see racks and racks of vintage and modern clothing. The prices are not really thrift store prices. They are not bargain basement prices, but I do think there are some deals to be had. The prices probably start somewhere between $10 and $15 and go up from there. You can find cashmere sweaters, leather jackets, and fur coats. They also have hats, belts, shoes, and scarves. Framed art is mostly located in the cardboard boxes I mentioned before, but they have smaller pieces of art and picture frames in crates and on shelves. They also have several bookshelves stocked with books. I'll show you some of that later in the video. I make time at the sale to go through their silverware because it is usually fairly priced. One of the things I like about this tag sale is the attentiveness of the staff. They have numerous men and women wearing black and white t-shirts that are constantly walking around restocking the tables and asking you if you need to start a box. Since they don't have carts or baskets to my knowledge, everyone just starts holding all of their treasures in their arms, which can get ridiculous. So the store employees will see this and offer to take them off of your hands, literally. They ask your name, then they put all of your things in a box in the front by the checkout table. Once a box has been started for you, then it's up to you to put all of your purchased or to be purchased items in the box. If you watched my Thrift With Me video where I parked my cart and walked 3 feet away only to have a woman start going through it, you probably know where this is going. The boxes in the front are not lockers. There is no security. It's the honor system here. So most of the time, I only see people looking through the boxes, but not taking things from them. And I get it. You're curious. Heck, I'm curious to see what someone else saw that I didn't, what someone else values that I don't. I'm guessing that you like that too if you're watching this video. There's something about coveting thy neighbor's treasures, though. Every night when it got dark out, my Nana would go around her house and pull down the blinds on the windows. I was like, Nana, why are you doing that? Thinking that she didn't want to be watched, which was my biggest fear as a kid. But she said, people can't want what they can't see, which blew my little mind. I did say most of the time, I don't see people taking from the boxes that are not theirs. 2 months ago, I had an employee start a box for me, and when I went up to check on it, the bag of fabric that I had given him was in my neighbor's box. I audibly gasped and picked it out and then put it back in my box. Now, was this person stealing from my box? I don't know. I think it's pretty dumb to take from your neighbor's box and put it right into your own. So I'm thinking that the employees started 2 boxes at the same time, got confused, and mixed up our items. I see the plain white cow cream holders pretty regularly at thrift stores, but I picked this one up because it's blue and white, and I thought maybe it's from like Portugal or Spain. But if you notice, there's little chips on the ears and maybe the horns, so I put it back. I don't know if you're keeping track of all the pieces I've picked up that say Janet 98 at the bottom, but this might be like the fifth one. You know, I am in New York, and there is a stereotype about New Yorkers. Maybe more than one, but I'm talking about the loud, pushy New Yorker stereotype. Are those types of people at this tag sale? Yes. But honestly, I find these people are in the thrifting community, so they would be at this tag sale. When I was thrifting in Paris, Ed and I came up with the term freeper to describe someone who creeps up on you in a store. It was especially bad in this store called Freepstar, so we combined the store name and the word creeper to make a freeper. Normally, I skip the book section at thrift stores, especially vintage books, but I stopped to look at these because I have actually read some of them, and the other ones had fabulous names like The Book of Snobs. I love it. They weren't in great shape, so I didn't buy any of them. They were literally falling apart in my hands. You may remember I thrifted a brand new shrink-wrapped Neoclassicism and Romanticism book about a month ago. I was thrilled to see that not only was mine brand new, but it was also less expensive. I know there is a trend to buy vintage books. People love the look of a vintage book on a bookshelf, mantle, or coffee table, but I won't buy a book just for the look. I'll only buy it if I love it and read it, like have read it in the past, or plan to read it. Maybe if I had more bookshelves and the space for them, I'd be into it. Here is my pull. The $15 metal pot I warned you about earlier, and a bunch of books. One is a photo coffee table book about Paris for Ed because he was really inspired by the buildings and the color palette of the city. A book about old buildings, one about painting furniture, and one about old patterns. I'm pitching the idea of hand painting some kind of design on the back of Ed's entryway door, so the last two books are for research. I also tried to show you the setup of the boxes in the front. And here is my haul. I ended up getting everything, which is a first. Here is the fabric I told you about earlier in the video. I used it to DIY a pleated lampshade and a custom headboard, which I'll share in an upcoming video. I wasn't able to convince Ed to let me buy that organizer for the entryway makeover, but here are some other things that I have bought at the tag sale in the past. This Saturday, I'm planning to drop the first video in a series I'm currently calling I'm Loving, in which I talk about a designer or design style that I find inspiring or influential. And up first is Nancy Meyers. I'll show you her designs and how to get the look on a budget. If you like thrifting, interior design and decorating, and DIYs, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and make sure your notifications are on so you don't miss a video. Thanks for watching. Bye. You're gonna stay here, okay? Enjoy your nap.